with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games get played, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a lie.
Hey,
I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey.
hey, barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button as you guys see on the screen, man. And click the link in the bio. I appreciate you guys in advance. 9 Wives is out and it's doing an extraordinary job, man. Thank you. As I will mention, we have been accepted to 3 film festivals already. We're 1 week out, and the film is just extraordinary. I believe it to be the film of the year. So click the link in the bio, enjoy it, and feel free to comment on it. And Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter going to purse bid. The deadline is Friday. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how many days. Is it 10 days they give them to do the purse bid, or they'll schedule the purse bid a week down the road or something like that? And this is going to be a tall tale as to the business of boxing. Where Al Heyman stands, because we rarely get to see Al Heyman go to purse bid and PBC, and we know the frugalness of Bob Arum. And I really, really want to see what happens. You know, is I don't have an answer yet. I want to base it. I don't want to base it off what I believe. I want to base it on the facts of the actual purse bid, and I want to see, do PBC value Terrence Crawford? Do they value Sean Porter? I want to see, does Bob Arum value it? Any other players come in? Will Triller come back in? Will Eddie Hearn want to put this fight on in the UK? It's just going to be a real interesting play coming in, because as we can see now, there's no fights really being made. You know, no one wants to invest. Everyone is just exhausted. No one's selling tickets. And ticket sales are dismal in America. And that's just a fact. And all these fights have been basically giveaways here in Los Angeles. Bob Arum has taken his fights out of Las Vegas and put it in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Reason by, because he wants to make money on the gate, you know. And I'm not sure how Tulsa, Oklahoma is responding, but I'm pretty sure Vegas didn't respond well during COVID, as you guys saw. So no one's really selling, and we just gotta sit back and see what happens with the sport of boxing. As I've taken a step back, and I'm just gonna let the cards fall where they may. I think it's important that boxing fans fully grasp and understand their value of the dollar. And if you pull your money out of boxing until you get what you want, then you'll understand. Then they'll get it. But until that happens, until we keep on accepting these 99-cent steaks that we get from the corner store, as opposed to wanting a filet mignon, ribeye, you know, the best cuts on of a steak, considered by some. It's just incredibly important that we pull our money back, pull our resources back, because we can't even get D-level fights, man. Charles Martin can't even get into a fight, y'all. Think about that. Put that into perspective. The mandatories now are becoming guys from overseas because they get them real cheap. It's not by accident that these guys are from foreign countries fighting for these mandatory slots now, because no matter the promoter, whether you're, anyways, all promoters, if a guy comes from another country, they're getting them at a great rate, and they putting them in these mandatory slots and hoping to make a great deal off a small investment. And similar to the workforce here in America, you know, where you have like illegal immigrants working and pushing Americans out of their job. you know, and whatever side of the fence you on as it pertains to that. If you believe immigrants should get jobs, or if you believe immigrants shouldn't get jobs, it's totally on you. Um, if you guys are asking, I pay taxes. You understand what I'm saying? So I would want everyone to get taxed. You get what I'm saying? And although I do respect, I shouldn't say respect, but you know, I live an honest life now. You know, and so I 100% get it. And I think being an American, paying taxes, I think you should be at the front of the line as it pertains to immigrants. And it's just what I believe. Um, and two, that has a great parallel to the sport of boxing, where you see these, whether you're Mexican, or whether you're from those Asian countries, or whether you're from Ghana, you know, boxing thrives off of cheap labor, and so does America. You know, I always said to myself, if everyone that worked for minimum wage formed a union, it would cripple America. It would shift the paradigm, and it's just sad that um, um, we don't have that collective spirit to understand that it would shut down. It would cripple America if everyone making minimum wage would just say, "Fuck it, we're not going to work until they change our conditions." And I would applaud it. You know, I think that's important. I think leveraging your power is important. So if it worked at a one McDonald's, if if everyone at McDonald's pulled out and said we're not going to work, it would cripple that McDonald's. And but as I digress back into the to Crawford versus Porter, um, this is going to tell a lot what we've been dealing with the past year and a half. Um, so the purse bid means that whoever wins the purse bid is 100% liable for um, for putting on the event and the purses. And I'm real interested to see if Al Heyman sees value in Terrence Crawford and or Sean Porter. I My personal opinion is I think Al Heyman deems Sean Porter as expendable. I don't think he wants to invest too much in him, because if he did, he would have put on Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter fight, but he doesn't want to and put that money into that fight. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. And we all knows what Bob Arum is going to do. And I think it's time for us just accept people for who they are. Bob Arum's been in the business for 60 years. It works for him. McDonald's has been in the business, let's say 60 years. It works for them. We don't go to McDonald's asking them to change their special sauce. You know, so I think, why go to Bob Arum expecting him to change? You know, nothing's gonna change in him. If you don't like him, you don't like him. And it's time for the fighters and the fans to accept things for who they are. And if we want to change, we must be the change. And that's what I stand on. And I think we can do it as a collective. Um, but yeah, man. So at the end of the day, purse bid coming. In my perfect world, honestly, I would rather the fight be on ESPN than on Fox. I think Fox does terrible coverage. Oh, it's gonna be on pay per view, so it don't matter. It don't matter. I'm sorry, but I don't even I don't even know if ESPN do show the program. Do they even do like build ups to the fights? I haven't seen any. You know, I know Fox does it. Fox did it with fight. They have the fight camp series, but it's kind of vanilla. You know, I think Showtime is better at that, but Showtime is definitely not bidding on this fight. Um, I'm just interested to see how this will play out. This is gonna tell a lot about boxing, man, and I'm gonna be here to break down the purse biz and what it means and what it stands for, where the money's at, um, and we'll see. So, I mean, if you're an investor and you want to take a risk in boxing, but you got to make sure you have your stadium lined up, because let me tell you, Bob Arum and Al Heyman gonna make a play on you to make sure that you don't get the stadium of choice. So make sure you have already spoke to the stadium. Make sure you've spoken to the location. Make sure you have inroads in that area, because I think this is a sellable fight. I don't think he'll do well on pay-per-view. I don't. I don't think Sean Porter can sell a pay-per-view. I don't think Terrence Crawford can sell a pay-per-view. I think you just got to trust the gate. I think it can be a strong gate, but Bob Arum will not let you in Vegas if you bid against him. All right. It's just simple. Al Heyman will not let you in LA if you bid against him, or Brooklyn. You're not going to Barclay. You're not going to Madison Square Garden. You're not going to Staples Center. Al Heyman has Staples Center. Bob Arum has Las Vegas. You won't do it. It just won't work. Okay. And so them joining forces against you will put you in a compromised position. So I think you really, really, really got to um, have a location, whether it be Atlanta, or do you know the owner? Like it has to be something like that. And Triller has done one, maybe two events in Atlanta. So maybe Atlanta is just naive to the politics of boxing. Maybe you can do it there. I don't know. But I remember what Al Heyman did to what is that? What's that guy? Oscar De La Hoya, when he fought in Verona. That fight was supposed to be at StubHub Center, but it wasn't. I think Robert Guerrero ended up fighting at 12 o'clock noon or something like that, just to take the date away from Oscar De La Hoya, so he would fight in Verona, New York. And it was like a West Coast fight, fighting in Verona, New York. And we saw what PBC and Showtime did to the Teofimo Lopez date by putting Floyd Mayweather on that Sunday, and we see what Bob Arum did. He done basically closed the door on them. They can't get an arena anywhere. Bob Arum will not let them in Vegas. Bob Arum's allies will not let him in Vegas for that fight, because Bob Arum has great ties to boxing. You take that fight, you're not getting my 10 fights. So what they gonna do? So that's where we're at with the business of boxing, and it's challenging. And don't forget 9 Wives. Click the link. Click the link in the description box below, man. Order it, watch it. Let me know what you think. It's just it's important, and I'm excited for your response on the film, and I'm excited for this purse bid, because and I think all fighters need to really, really focus on this purse bid and see how much they're paying for a fight like this, and being realistic and saying, well, if they give Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford this much money, then I know damn well, if you're honest with yourself, you only can get so much. So you better, y'all fighters, PBC, especially PBC, y'all better start looking to be fighting overseas or something. I'm just going to keep it a buck. And some overseas, Frank Warren, they love bringing Americans over there and overpaying slightly. Whether you go to Australia, New Zealand, UK, you got Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn. You got like Australia, and you got New Zealand. Those are the countries where the dollar is almost comparable. Maybe you got a promoter up there in Canada, that the dollar is pretty comparable. But we'll see. Barbershop Conversations. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.